Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today I would like to talk about some history of civil engineering in the eastern province of Saudi Arabia. And basically the period is 1950s. I'm lucky that my late father is a civil engineer and he had a contracting company during that period, and I was a very young person, yet I was witnessing some of the things they did, and some of the things were interesting. First, of course, I have to say that the projects were in the MAM basically, and at that time, a lot of the construction was using roof slabs that are made of wood and cement together. Now the interesting stories, really one of them belongs to construction of a building that was by the ruler of that area at the time, and he wanted to construct a house about 200-300 meters into the sea in the Dammam area. Now, remember at that time we did not have roads and cars to go and bring big rocks, to throw rocks in the shallow water in order to make a foundation. We were not in a position to make huge concrete elements to throw in the area to make a foundation for that building. So my father was made a decision that what we will do is we will bring cement bags and put them on boats and then dump them in the seawater. And the sand, the cement bags, without anything else, just the cement bags, absorbed the salt water and became hard. And he was able to make some kind of a rigid foundation. And at that time, the amount of depth of water was not too much. So he was able to make some kind of a foundation using those cement bags. So that was one of the interesting experiences that I've seen. Another one which was that whenever we needed sand or small aggregates, again we did not have that time lots of quarries to crush stones and use it. So we were going, when the sea will go in, we will take trucks and go into the sea and collect the seashells. So the seashells at that time were used also as part of the aggregates. Especially we were using it for making the hollow block, not the actual concrete mix, but the hollow blocks. Another interesting story, which was created a lot of problem, which is one of the buildings, which was also a very important palace or something, had round circular columns which are about 20 centimeters, and they were standing up, and they were in the front of the building. They were very well architecturally looked nice, and everybody loves them. 2 years later or 1 year later, they started to witness cracks in those columns. And because the building was important, they called foreign experts, I think from outside the country, maybe British, something like that, and they told them we have a problem in those columns, they are cracking. So they continued to study the case, and they did not know what is causing those cracks in the columns. When they called my late father, they asked him, can you explain this condition? Why are the columns of the building, why are they cracking? And my father started thinking about how do they construct those columns because he's a contractor. So he found out that the labor, when they were having their lunch or eating, they will eat dates. And where will they sit? They will sit on the sand. So the sand that was used in those columns had a lot of date seeds. And the date seeds went to the mixed design, went into the column concrete, and the seed took it 1 year or something or more to expand and start to grow and crack the column. So a very interesting story because it gives you a very strong indication that local experience and local community knows best in many cases. Another interesting story was when they were going to build the tower for the television in Dammam. And this tower was quite high, and the company that was constructing the tower was from Germany, and they designed a huge foundation for the tower. Again, the tower was located in a sabkha area, which means a lot of water there, and they needed only to make a foundation. At that time, there was not the same system of today, which is dewatering and doing things like that, and even the car access was difficult, and the bulldozer access was difficult because there is water there, maybe half a meter of water or 1 meter of water. Again, those companies consulted with my father, and they said, can you help us? And my father said, yes, I can. I will make for you the foundation. So what he did was very interesting. He did a foundation which looks like a duck, big in the middle, and then it has two wings. Okay, and he poured it outside that area, not in that area. He poured it on a dry land. And then he connected it with cables and bulldozers, with cables that are maybe 200, 300 meters long. And he pulled this foundation into the sabkha area and put it in the place where they wanted this foundation to be. So it was like making a foundation and pulling it to its place, but not casting it in the final place. So some of those are interesting stories on construction and how construction was developed. Also, my father constructed a house in Al-Khobar in 1960, and I think it was his first house that he owned. And because he was afraid of the quality of water, he decided to use only bottled water in the roof slab. So because most of the water at that time was more salty, just like today you are using bottled water for some projects. So that was interesting, and even that didn't help because the slab did deteriorate, but at least it gives you an idea how engineers can be ingenious and try to come up with solutions. So this is just an interest, something I thought I'll pass on to you because it has to do with civil engineering and with history of construction in the area, and I will try to remember some of those stories and pass them on to you. Thank you very much for listening.